channel. We're also live on GTV and streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. You're most welcome. My name is Micheline Taka. ECOWAS has imposed sanctions on the transitional authorities in Mali. These include a travel ban, freeze on financial assets for members and groups and families associated with the authorities. They are also asking the transitional authority in Mali to work towards the February 2022 deadline to organize elections. On Guinea, the authority demanded for the release of former President Alpha Condé. Sanctions against Mali are also being upheld until restoration of constitutional rule. These were contained in a communique at the end of the third extraordinary session of the heads of state and governments of the political situation on Guinea and Mali.
On the political transition in the Republic of Guinea, the authority reaffirmed its demand for the unconditional release of President Alpha Condé. The authority takes note of the recent development in Guinea, particularly the adoption of the Transition Charter, the appointment of a civilian Prime Minister, and the formation of the transition government. It urged the transition authorities to submit a detailed timetable of activities to be carried out under the transition toward the holding of election in accordance with the decision of the Extraordinary Summit of ECOWAS Head of State and Government held on 16 September 2021. The authority decided to uphold the suspension of the Republic of Guinea from all ECOWAS governing bodies, as well as the travel ban and freeze of financial assets imposed on the members of the CNRD and their family members until constitutional order is restored. The authority reiterates the need to adhere to the transition timetable in respect of the election scheduled for 27 February 2022 and calls on the transition authorities to act accordingly to ensure expeditious return to constitutional order. Accordingly, the authority calls on the international community to take the necessary measures to ensure that the transition authority respect their commitment to an expeditious return to constitutional order. In conformity with the decision taken on 16 September 2021, the authority decided to impose sanctions with immediate effect against individuals and groups who have been identified, including the entire members of the transition authorities and other transition institutions. These sanctions will also be imposed on the members of their families.
The Ghana Grid Company, GridCo, says transmission in the supply of power across the country has been stable and reliable in the last 2 years. This follows the completion of key transmission projects in the country. At a media briefing in Accra, the Director of System Operations, Mr. Mark Barr, said GridCo is working to ensure that demand and supply of power to customers matches to avoid intermittent power cuts. Currently, GridCo transmits power to 14 generating companies in the country and has completed the second major transmission line from southern to northern Ghana and interconnection with Burkina Faso.
In order to ensure that Ghanaians enjoy quality power, you need this function where we have to ensure that your power comes to you at the right voltage, at the right frequencies, because when you buy any gadget, and you tell you that this gadget operates at 50 Hz, they've written on it. At 220 volts, they've written on it. We need to make sure that that power that comes through is of that quality. In order to do that, GRICO ensures that at any moment, the demand for power and the supply for power are matching. That is the uniqueness of electricity. Anytime either the demand or the supply, anytime there is an inequality, we have problems in the system. If demand is more than supply, we are doing so. If supply is more than demand, you would have to shut down the power plants. So 24/7, every second of the day, there is somebody at the computer center ensuring that demand and supply is equal. Currently, we have installed over 6,400 circuit kilometers of transmission lines throughout the country and indeed beyond the borders of Ghana. And some of these lines are equipped with the fiber optic to enable us also carry out the communication functions.
The Navrongo Health Research Center under the Ghana Health Service has started implementing phase 4 of the malaria vaccine RTSS or Mosquirix within its projected surveillance areas. Its study and implementation has become necessary as a result of the WHO's readiness and recommendation for a rollout of the RTSS malaria vaccine across Africa. Currently, RTSS or Mosquirix is the only recommended malaria vaccine for children under 5 years.
The Navrongo Health Research Center and the Kintampo Health Research Center participated in phases 1, 2 and 3 clinical trials and piloting of the RTSS malaria vaccine. The RTSS malaria vaccine, which is an add-on to the malaria interventions, is currently being implemented in 7 districts in Ghana. So far, over 40,000 children have benefited from the RTSS malaria vaccine rollout. With 2 years into the rollout of the malaria RTSS vaccine, the World Health Organization (WHO) has recommended its use, and the phase 4 implementation will continue to gather data to inform policy direction on the scaling up of the vaccine in the country.
So for the Upper East, it's just the areas that are covered by the Navrongo Health Research Center that are taking part in the phase 4 study. We have seen that there has been a reduction in the severe malaria compared to the previous years.
Ghana is among 2 other African countries, Kenya and Malawi, that piloted and rolled out the vaccine. Stakeholders believe the successful implementation of the malaria vaccine RTSS in Ghana and Africa is a step towards controlling malaria.
Waiting for one vaccine for over 30 years is significant. I think the next generation of people, Africans, will take this vaccine, and for that reason, they will be protected from the parasites. They know that gradually we will get rid of the malaria.
Among the selected health centers for the RTSS vaccine is the Navrongo Central Health Center in the Upper East region. The center is now recording a drop in malaria cases.
Confirmed cases as for 2020 were 182 as compared to this year 2021, which is 119. You see a reduction.
Some mothers whose children have taken the vaccine say more interventions are needed to help fight against malaria.
She was okay. It's just the last one that came and took that. She reacted to it. I gave her some paracetamol and then the following day she was okay. But since then we haven't treated any malaria again.
The RTSS or Mosquirix malaria vaccine is a single-dose injectable administered at 6 months, 7 months, 9 months and 24 months. For GBC News, Mavis Ofei Champong reporting.
Inadequate furniture and classroom accommodation on poor drainage system and limited accommodation for staff were some challenges outlined by the headmaster of the Accra Academy Senior High School at the climax of the school's 90th anniversary celebration in Accra. The event was attended by dignitaries including the Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Victor Jones Doche, and the Deputy Transport Minister, Mr. Kweku Ofori Esiama.
Located at Bubiashi, Accra Academy is one of the foremost secondary educational institutions in the country which operates a non-denominational day and boarding boys school. It was established as a private secondary educational institution in 1931 and gained the status of a government-assisted school in 1950. In 1981, the academy gained the status of a completely developed senior secondary school and became a semi-autonomous educational institution in 1990. Accra Academy was ranked 8th out of the top 100 best high schools in Africa by the Africa Almanac in 2003. At its 90th speech and prize-giving day, the headmaster of the school, Mr. Emmanuel Ofoifiamahwe, said the school has chalked up successes over the years. He, however, outlined a number of challenges faced by the school.
The most among the needs is the classroom accommodation and furniture. Currently, the school has a shortfall of 20 classrooms and 1,456 classroom furniture to accommodate the present student population of 3,354 as a single track school. We shall continue to appeal to well-wishers and parents to complement government efforts in the provision of classroom accommodation and furniture.
The school's prefect, Mr. Caleb Shiley, was hopeful that despite the challenges they face, the 2020-2021 year group would score the highest number of 8As ever recorded in the history of the school. The Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Jones Victor Doche, who is the board chairman of the school, lauded government for rolling out the free senior high school education policy. He, however, cautioned parents and guardians not to hide behind the policy to shirk their responsibilities towards educating their wards.
The current generation of students are fortunate to be enjoying free SHS at the expense of other equally important social services and infrastructural projects. One sure way you can adequately reward yourselves and the country is to make very good use of this opportunity by ensuring that you pass your examination with flying colors.
Activities to mark the anniversary founded by the 1990 year group includes refurbishment of a one-story 10-unit classroom block with furniture, landscaping and greening, and donation of 60 pairs of uniforms and combat boots for the school's cadet corps.
Pope Francis has knighted 5 parishioners of the Roman Catholic Church. This was announced at the climax of the 75th anniversary of the Our Lady of Annunciation Catholic Cathedral Parish at Tamale in the northern region. The 5 parishioners are from the Bolgatanga, Navrongo and Damongo Archdioceses in the Upper East and Savannah regions.
The Our Lady of Annunciation Catholic Cathedral Parish was established in September 1946 with Father McCoy as the first head of the church. The church currently has thousands of congregants. The Archbishop of Tamale, Most Reverend Philip Name, urged Christians to share their faith by helping the needy in society.
Let us not put a stop to what we think God has inspired us to do, but to engage in an ongoing discernment process, whereby we consider very important every day to listen anew to what God may be telling us.
The Northern Regional Coordinating Director, Mr. Amadou Isahaku, commended the church for its role in promoting peace and development in the region. 46 members of the church were honored for their contribution to the church. A project was also unveiled as part of the celebration.
part of activities to mark its 20th anniversary, GBC's Obonu FM has held a lecture with a focus on reviving and sustaining the Gadangme language among the youth in the Greater Accra region.
Obonu FM of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation was established as a regional station for the indigenous people of the Gadangme community in the Greater Accra region. It started operation on July 1, 2001 at the studios of the Broadcasting House in Accra and was later relocated to Tema. To promote the Gadangme language, especially among the youth, is its core mandate, and so the anniversary lecture to mark its 20th anniversary focused on preserving and sustaining the language. The Chief Executive of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Ms. Elizabeth Nakwacho-Saki, said it is important to strengthen the Gadangme identity for posterity. The regional director of Obonu TV and Obonu FM, Mrs. Loretta Vanderpoy, said the station has been instrumental in promoting the Gadangme language for the past 20 years. Delivering the anniversary lecture on the theme Sustaining the Gadangme Language, Reverend Professor Philip Tetelai of the Akufi Crystal Institute of Theology, Mission and Culture called on stakeholders, professionals and the Gadangme media outlets to explore ways to promote the language.
Language is about identity. If you lose your language, you don't have any identity. There are people who are struggling to find who they are. African Americans who are now located in the US come back, on, this homecoming, whatever. They are looking for identity. And we seem to be playing with it. We seem to be joking with it, So it's all about identity.
Reverend Professor Lai proposed the setting up of Gadangme libraries.
We'll now recap the week in pictures. You're watching News Hour. Time to take a quick break. We'll be back shortly. Please do stay.
My Ghana, yes, a man in seo. Yeah, my Ghana, yes, a man in seo. Yeah, my Ghana, yes, a man in seo. Kalam say master. Kalam say master. Kalam say master. Kalam say master. Kalam say master.